Hey, good morning, guys. Hammer here. Thanks for clicking on. It's got a few showers around here this morning, so I haven't been able to get out on the bike yet. Hopefully they'll clear out here in a little bit. I'll be able to get out for a ride. If I do, I'll bring you guys along. There's nothing really going on this weekend, no events or runs or anything, so if I go out for a ride, it's just going to be tooling around. There is an event coming up next weekend, though, and stick around, I'll tell you all about it. Roll the intro. Alright, so next weekend there's a poker run. It's a kind of a poker run bike meet. It's called Twinkie's second annual Around the Bay poker run. I don't know what or who Twinkie is or what the benefits are. Here's the poster. So, yeah, as you can see, it starts off in Largo, goes through St. Pete, across the Sunshine Skyway, which is going to be awesome. I'll bring the camera on that. All the way up the coast through Hillsborough County and literally around the entire bay. It's supposed to be 100 plus miles, so it starts off some corner bar and grill, I think it is. There's a couple of stops along the way. And then it ends up at Quaker Steak and Lube, where there's a party and bike meet. So I'll make sure I bring you guys on that. I'll have the drone, I'll have the cameras, and so it'll be a good time. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. So we'll see how that goes. So I went and picked something up. Because every time I've got a wrench on the bike, or even cleaning the bike, or whatever, you know, they're on the Jiffy stand, and you know, it's all fine, but, you know, whenever you got to do anything on this side of the bike, yeah, I'm old and fat and getting down there. This side of the bike isn't so bad. So what I did was, I went ahead and I bought this. This is a pretty heavy, actually, piece of steel. And I want to show it to you because I went and bought it. And it's pretty heavy piece of steel. It's got tie downs to it, but here's the downfall to it. And I tried looking at a bunch of reviews on them, and I found some, and they were all positive. But I didn't see anybody who had a dresser. I've seen a lot of Softails and Dynas, and you know, but it says it's a 1,500 pound. Let's see, no, it's an 1,800 pound capacity motorcycle stand. So, and it's plenty stout enough. What I may do is, I've rolled the bike on it already, and this is actually a good location. You can see where those pins are. So I may have a friend of mine weld this bracket down just so that this is solid and doesn't move. I mean, I'm sure that it's got a pretty solid base and a solid steel pin, but I'm going to go ahead and have that thing welded down so that don't move. So, I mean, it seemed okay, but I tried to roll the bike up on it, and here's what it did. Right? So, this thing just slid. I tried putting wedges in the backside here, and it still slid. So, I don't want to bolt this thing down to the floor. I don't want bolts sticking up out of my floor, because this is my garage. I'm going to break my freaking neck in here. So, I'm going to give you my solution. This is what I came up with, because I don't always use it. The bike normally sits on its jiffy stand right there. And this thing, well, I've got it just laying right there right now, but I'm probably going to hang it on the wall. We'll see. So here's what I did. I went ahead out to my shed, and I got a couple of wedge anchors. Now these are concrete wedge anchors. They're made to go into concrete and they don't come out. But that's not what I wanted to do. I want this to come out. I only want this to be in place so it will stay when I want it to stay. So what I did was I put it where I wanted it to be, and then I drilled out these 2 holes. So now all I need to do when I want to use the thing is literally put it where I want it to be, drop a bolt in it, line that one up, drop that bolt in it, and that's it. So what I did was, I know I've got a 4-inch slab, so I put a piece of tape on the drill bit at 3 inches. And once I was drilling down and I reached that piece of tape, I stopped. So I know I've still got 1 inch of concrete. But you don't want to bust through, hit pay dirt, then you got dirt coming up all the time, bugs and shit and water, and so I didn't want to do that. I wanted some concrete. So then I took these bolts and I put double nuts on them at 2.5 inches. So as you can tell, I mean, it's about 2 3/4 actually, but that's sufficient enough to be able to just drop in there, and this thing no longer moves. I rolled the bike up on it. Bike rolled up, drops right into place. This thing drops down behind the wheel, catches the wheel in there, and then you've got the eye hooks right there to strap it down with. And then to roll it back off, same thing. So that worked out really well. And then, of course, when I'm done using it, I just pull the bolts out and then put it away. So that was my solution. Worked out pretty well. It seems to be working out pretty well. I'll keep you notified if I end up having any issues with this thing. But I just want to roll it on a couple more times. I want to double check the placement of this before I go ahead and have it welded in place, because it does have several holes. Now I'm almost back as far as I can go. I think I can go back 1 more hole if I wanted to. But I measured it, and I measured it to the center of my wheel, and then I went ahead and measured, pin to pin, which would be the center, and then where it hit here, and that was where it came in. And when I rolled it on there, it rolled right on, dropped right into place. The front of the tire snugged right up here, and this thing hugged up the back. So I'm pretty confident that this is the spot. I'm going to move it back 1, roll it up just to double check. If that's not where I want to be, I'll put it back, and then I'll have it welded in place. All right, so I went ahead and I moved that pin up to the end, and the tire sits in there good. The bike's fairly stable. It's pretty solid. Now, it's like I said, it's got them eye hooks, so I will, when I'm working on it or doing something with it, I'll run straps. But as you can see, it's on there. It keeps the bike upright, and so should work out pretty good. For the things I want to do with it anyway. I don't want to get a lift and all that, because I don't really have room here in the garage for all that. But I moved that thing up. I'm going to move it back, put it up on there, see if it's a little more stable, and whichever one fits it best is the one it's getting welded to. I'll let you know. All right, I went ahead and moved the pin back 1 just to check this out, and it seems to fit a little better in the harness there, and the bike is definitely more stable. So that's where it's going. Yeah, I'm fucking winded moving this 40-pound pig around. And pulling it off isn't too bad. I mean, I can drive it up if I want to do that. I just pushed it up, but I could drive it up. You still got to pull it off. And I did that, and it wasn't too bad. What I found was, because it rolls up on that middle pin, I'd pull it halfway up and hit the front brake and grab it, and then pull it again, and she rolls right down. So I'm sure I'll find the technique to it. But so that's how it sits. So as you can tell now, I've got much better access. And of course, the underneath is clear for, you know, my oil pans and whatever I'm going to be doing under there. And actually lifts it a little bit, gives it a little more clearance, maybe an inch or so, but hey, we'll take it. So yeah, pretty cool. So hopefully this thing works out. I'll let you know. So that's that. Should work out pretty well, holds the bike straight upright. That way when I'm working on it, because there's some things you got to do, like when you're doing the primary, the bike needs to be upright. I do have a jack stand for the motorcycle, but it gets in the way. You can't really get anything up under there once you've got that jack stand. So this wheel chuck, this should work out really well. So I'll let you know. All right. So that's it for now. If I end up going out tooling around, or if I end up coming up with something, I'll show it to you. Otherwise, that's it, man. So look forward to that poker run next week. That's going to be a good time. So as always, I appreciate you guys coming along, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We certainly appreciate that. And remember, be safe. I'm Hammer. I'm out.